Hello, welcome to day 4 of the series Awakening to Purpose. Today we are going to look at the topic, the link between purpose and gifts. In the last class, we talked about the anatomy of purpose, and one of the things that we mentioned is a component of purpose is gifts, your giftedness. And I mentioned that your giftedness or your gift is a pointer to purpose, right? Is a pointer to the unique contribution you can make in the way only you can make it. So it's important that we look at gifts in details so that it can help us when we begin the journey of discovering our purpose, our mission in society. Because one of the things I want to achieve with this series is to spark something in you, in everyone that will watch this series, right? Is to spark something in you so that when you are making $1, you are also making a difference, right? So you make $1 and you also make a difference. And that will happen when you are purpose driven. All right, let's go into what we have today. So let us start with what is gifts, right? Gifts is your natural abilities. They are your natural tendencies. They are the things you are good at naturally, right? So you don't need so much struggle to be good in it. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't sharpen. It doesn't mean that you don't do training. It doesn't mean that you don't need to be coached, right? But it is an ability that is innate in you. You need to refine it, but it is a natural endowment. So gifts are the natural abilities that you have that allows you to perform certain activities with ease, excellence, and joy. So when you meet somebody who is naturally talented, who is gifted to sing, you notice that they tend to excel in the field of singing. Think about somebody like Michael Jackson. This guy was natural. He's talented in singing. So right from when he was small, he started singing, and he became good in singing because he was talented. He was gifted in that area, and he needed to refine that, and he used that to make a difference. So sometimes gifts can show up early in life. Sometimes for some people it shows up early in life. For some other people it doesn't. You think about people like Messi. When he was very small, it was evident that he was talented to play football. It was evident. A lot of people that right from small, you notice that these kids will be great in this area. Because from the age of 5, from the age of 6, they started manifesting their giftedness. It could be drawing, it could be singing, it could be in sports. Secondly, let us look at gift as your unique fingerprints. Just like we have our fingerprints, like our DNA combination, so gifts are also your spiritual fingerprints. They are fingerprints of your soul pointing to you an area in life where you can make a contribution, a difference, where you can serve, where you can create, where you can lead, where you can build in such a way that is authentic to you, that is so unique to you. Your gift mix is uniquely tailored to the difference only you can make. Now listen, your gift mix, the mixture of your gifts, your passion, your experience is tailored to the unique contribution only you can make in the way only you can make it. Now, it doesn't mean that you are the only one that can create or serve or build or lead in that area of life. You might be a gifted teacher, right? It doesn't mean that you are the only person who can teach very well. There are a lot of teachers, but what it means that a mixture, a blend of your talent, of your experience, of of your passion, the way you are wired is so unique to you. The reason why this is important is because we live in a world where people tend to follow trends. People tend to follow what is trending, right? So that they fail to look into themselves to find out how they can creatively contribute to the world, how they can make a difference. They tend to follow what other people are doing. They tend to underrate their giftedness. Giftedness is not just about what is loud. Sometimes you need to do a personal reflection, retrospection, and check inwardly to discover what is your giftedness. Or you might be multi-talented to discover what is your dominant gift. Like I said, no one else has your unique combination of experience, gifts, and passion. That means there are problems in the world that only you can address in the way only you can do that. And that is important. One of the problem I have with our education system, the way we do education today, is that we do education like I mentioned in the other video, as if we are preparing children to become workers. Of course, that is what schooling is. That is the essence of curriculum, right? We are preparing students to write exams and we give them certificates. Then we don't when we do that, we are positioning them to become adults who are focused on surviving, right? They are focused on surviving. They are in the survival mode. And one of the things that survival mode does to our brain is that it hinders us from being creative. So that if somebody is gifted in a particular area, they tend to forget about it or just turn it into a hobby or something they do just on the weekends. Because we have programmed them to survive. Right? Because what happens in school, we just gather children and we teach them, we put a lot of things in their brain, and at the end of the day, we test them to know whether they complied. So it's as so much as if it becomes like what we do in school is to kill the creativity of children. So when children go to school, school is not a place where we help children to discover who they are, right? To encourage them to develop their gifts. Imagine if school is where we encourage children to develop their gifts and to refine it and still be literate and still be able to do mathematics, to read and write. But we encourage them to refine their gifts. We encourage them to express themselves. We encourage them to lead, to build, to create things, so that they come out and become people who know how to channel their gifts and solve problems in society, problems that matters and make a difference. Now, it's important to mention that gift is not just what you are good at. Remember, we are talking about gifts as how they are related to purpose, right? And we said that purpose is not just what you do, it is the why you do the things you do. Now, gift is not just what you are good at, right? So gift is, as it pertains to this talk, is what you are good at that meets a need in the society, right? So what you are good at, that meets a need in society. So you look at what is it that I'm good at that meets a need in society. It points you to the unique contribution you can make in the way only you can make. So gift is not just for you, right? Gift is not for you to impress us. It is for you to use it and make a difference and make a contribution to the world. So you might be good in singing, in drawing, in organizing, in encouraging people. But the power of your gift shows up in how it serves other people, in how it heals, in how it uplifts, educates, and empower other people. Now, let us look at gift as a clue to purpose. Now, you know, when we talked about the anatomy of purpose, right? We say purpose shows in different, it shows in different ways. We've talked about passion. Now we are talking about gifts. What you are gifted is a pointer to the unique contribution you can make in society. So beneath your giftedness is why, is purpose, is mission, right? When you look at your giftedness with the eye of purpose, it becomes an empowerment to do. It becomes an empowerment, right? It becomes an empowerment to make a difference. When you begin to look at your giftedness from the eyes of purpose, then you begin to see it as an empowerment, as being equipped to solve a problem. Do you get this? Because like I mentioned, if you are gifted and you don't think in terms of purpose, you are not purpose driven, you might not be able to utilize that gift. Now, somebody said something that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. When you don't realize the purpose of your gifts, you will not be able to put it to effective use. So when you are purpose driven, when you begin to look at your purpose from the lens, when you begin to look at your gift from the lens of purpose, then you are able to use it, see it as empowerment to serve other people. Because the purpose of your giftedness is to make a difference. When somebody tells you that they have a gift for you, automatically you are expecting to receive something from them. So gifts, by definition, inherently in the definition of a gift, is something that is meant for other people, right? So gift is for service. It is not for impressing people. So your gift were not given to you. You don't have them. It's not something that is meant to impress people, rather to express yourself. To express yourself, to add value to other people. So if you are good in mathematics, it is not a way to impress us. If you are gifted with words, it is not to impress people. It is to use that your giftedness, your intelligence, your leadership skills to solve a problem, to make the world better. Now, it's important to mention that if you are multi-gifted, right, like so many people are, that it is not a problem, right? Somebody can ask, what if I'm multi-gifted? You know, some persons are multi-gifted. Some persons have interest because of their multi-giftedness. They have interest in a lot of field. They don't know what course to choose. They don't know what to write, the subject combination they can choose when they want to write JAMB. Right? So that shouldn't be a problem. If you have a lot of gifts, it's just like being in a team, right? In a team, we have a captain. Right? We have a captain. So if you are multi-gifted, there will be a gift that is dominant. There will be a gift that is well suited with your personality, your passion, and the problems that you see in society that you are driven to address. Let me use myself as an illustration. I am passionate about helping people to discover the leader in them and become it. That is helping people to discover, how they can uniquely make a difference in society. Is a passion that I have, right? Now, in terms of my personality, I'm self-reserved, right? I am analytical in thinking, right? I try to think about things in details. So that is my personality. I am self-reserved. I read a lot. I think about things a lot. So that is my personality. Now, the problem I see in the world is that, people live their life, surviving, right? Surviving. I see a problem of ignorance. So, and I want to fix it. So, and I have interest in leadership development, right? So I'm good in teaching. I enjoy teaching. Which other area am I gifted in? Okay, I have interest in playing table tennis, like I've mentioned before. I have interest in which other area? I have interest in health, right? I wanted to become a doctor. I had interest in education. I wanted to become a lecturer, right? Now, these are the areas I have interest in, but in terms of how, in terms of the giftedness that is uniquely tailored to the kind of difference I want to make, and how I can express myself in the most authentic way, is teaching, right? Because that is how I can express myself and make a difference. So I'm doing that. So if you are multi-gifted, it's not a problem. Your multi-giftedness shouldn't be a source of confusion. You are supposed to integrate them with purpose. So purpose become a container for your gifts, right? So your gifts work together. They play role. Just like in a team, you have a team leader. So your most dominant gift is the one you use mostly to do purpose, to make a difference, and others support that one. So if you are multi-gifted, it shouldn't be a source of confusion, right? So if you are multi-gifted, you think in terms of your personality, in terms of the problem you see in the world. What gifts can you use and make a contribution and make a difference in the world in a way that is most authentic and unique to you? Now, it's important to mention that gifts are clues, right? They are not destinations. Your gifts are clues. Gifts are clues. They are not destination. So that if you are multi-gifted, it doesn't mean that you should have different visions. If you have 5 gifts, it doesn't mean you should have 5 visions for your life. You should have one vision. Then all your giftedness, you work together to achieve that vision, to go in the line of that vision. So gifts are clues. They are not destinations. Each gift you have is like a compass needle. It points somewhere, but the destination is not a gift. It's not a gift. The destination is the difference you are meant to make with your gifts. That means your purpose isn't merely to sing, for example, or to teach, or to design. It is to use those gifts in a way that contributes meaningfully to other people. So the question becomes, what do you feel most drawn to make? What difference, what impact do you feel most drawn to make with your gifts? I've said this, right? Because you can be multi-gifted, and that might be a source of confusion. So the question is, what are you drawn? What difference, what impact are you drawn to make that is in alignment with your giftedness? Purpose can be a container for many gifts. You don't always have to choose one gift often. So purpose becomes a container that, it becomes a home that houses those gifts and allow them to play together, allow them to work, to support. So you have your dominant gift, the other ones support them and help you to make your unique contribution. For example, a person gifted in singing, speaking, and emotional intelligence might find purpose in coaching or advocacy. So you are gifted in writing, in speaking, and emotional intelligence. I mean, you can excel in coaching. So all those giftedness, they work together to help you to serve society. So it is not about narrowing down your gift, choosing one gift and letting others to just be there. It is about aligning them towards a unifying mission. Right? It is about aligning those your gifts, right, into one vision. I've said that even though you are multi-gifted, it doesn't mean that you should have so many visions. It doesn't mean that you should have more than one vision. You are supposed to have one vision. What is vision? Vision is direction, is where you want to be, right? In terms, it is where you see yourself in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, the kind of difference you are making. So you are supposed to have one unifying vision and mission. Then all of those giftedness, they work together to help you to achieve that. So ask yourself, what gift makes you feel most alive, right? If you are multi-gift, what is that gift that when you are using it, you feel most alive? Like when I'm teaching, I feel most alive. I enjoy it. So you have so many gifts, but what is that one? Which one of them, when you are using it, you feel most alive? Secondly, what gift do others deeply need from you? What is your giftedness that others deeply need from you? You are always called for because of that. What gifts do you see yourself using for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years to make an impact? Right? So the answer to these questions points you to your core gifts, right? The one that is most aligned with purpose. So the rest of them can work to strengthen that one. Now we're going to look at purpose, how purpose brings focus to gifts, right? So number 6 point, we say purpose brings focus to gifts. When you are purpose driven, your gift is directed, right? You begin to use your gift meaningfully. If you are multi-gifted, it is not a source of confusion. Without purpose, having many gifts can feel like being pulled in different directions. But with clarity of purpose, those gifts begin to work together. Like I've mentioned, without purpose, without a sense of purpose, you are most likely to underutilize your gifts or to abandon them or to turn them into side hustles, right? Just side hustles. If you don't have a sense of purpose, you might turn your giftedness into hobbies. So you are very good in something, but it just becomes a hobby to you. It just becomes something you do on the weekends just to entertain people. Now, there is nothing wrong with having hobbies, right? But if you are purpose driven, you begin to realize that this is an area where you can develop this gift and you can use it meaningfully and serve a greater audience. So your gifts are just like, your gifts are just like, in an orchestra, right? They are just like different instruments that work together to produce a melody, right? And your purpose is that melody. But when you are not purpose driven, when you don't think in terms of purpose, those gifts, they don't work together, right? They produce chaos instead of melody. So that is why if somebody is multi-gifted and they don't have a sense of purpose, right, they tend to get confused. They tend to go in different directions. They are pulled in different directions. They have so many visions. They don't know what to choose. Or they choose this one and they realize that, no, they made a mistake. They choose another one. But when you are purpose-driven, that purpose becomes a container that unify those gifts into one mission, one vision. So let us look at, so I have questions I want you to reflect that will help you to, to understand how your gift is linked with your purpose and get you to, discover your most dominant gifts. Number one, what are the things I do with ease and joy? What are the things that I do? So this is questions for reflection. What are the things I do with ease and joy? Right? So this will give you a pointer to your most dominant gift, to the one that is linked to purpose. Secondly, what do people often come to me for? I've mentioned this before. What do people often come to me for? Thirdly, what gifts have I been using since childhood? So since childhood, what gifts have I been using? What gifts have I been using since childhood? What is the gift that have been there that you have been using since childhood? That will give you a clue to what is your dominant gift. Fourth, what gifts meets a need in the world? What gifts do I have that meets a need in the world? And lastly, how can I use my gift to make a difference in the world? How can I use my gift to serve a larger purpose? Right? So how can I use my gift to serve a larger purpose? So these are the questions that I want you to, to ponder on, to reflect. That will give you a clue to what your most dominant gift is, and a gift that will allow you to express yourself in the most unique way, and also that will be a pointer to what your purpose and mission is. So I want you to reflect on them, right? Think about them, write them down. And if you have questions, I want you to feel free to reach out to me. I will make out time and respond to them. Thank you for listening. Thank you for attention. So we've come to the end of today's section. We are going to have, this is day 4. So we are going to have another section, another part, which is going to be day 5. And it promises to be loaded, to be empowering. And I want you to keep following them, because at the end of the day, you will thank yourself for listening. Yeah, I hope this thing works, because